Hi guys, ctrygirl555 here, Tina. I'm going to make a corned beef pie. I was going to show you that for tomorrow, Sunday's dinner. So I'll show you how to get started on that now. So we've got 4 jumbo carrots, and I picked all the small new potatoes. They're very, you know, the new potatoes are easy to cook. So I'm just going to peel those and clean them and dice them up. And I'm going to peel these and clean them and dice them up. And I got a medium onion and a small onion. Going to dice those up. And what you do is just put these into a steer, cover it with a lid, and bring it to a boil and let it simmer for about an hour and a half. And then you'll take the corned beef out of its tin and you'll put it in a pan along with OXO cubes. I put 2 OXO cubes in there, beef OXO. So I put 2 cubes of that in there and just kind of break it up in the steer. And I'll be right back to show you all that prepared. Okay, we've got the carrots and the onions all cut up in there. You can see it's about 2½ cups of carrots and about 3/4 of a cup of onion, just white onion. And we got 2 cups and a half of potatoes chopped up. So we're just going to put all those in my cooking pan. And then I'm going to put hot water over that. See, the water's already boiled hot. So we'll just bring this up to a boil on the stove. And then we'll turn it down with the lid on. And we're going to let that cook. We're going to let that cook. And that'll be the veg that's in the pie. And as you can see, I put the corned beef in here, and I've put the 2 OXO cubes in here. And basically, you just got to chop it up like that, and you'll put it on a slow heat and let it just heat up so it'll infuse the OXO cube, and then you just turn it off. And then when the veg are done, you'll drain the veg, and then you'll layer the corned beef, a layer of veg, and a layer of corned beef, and you do about 4 or 5 layers, however many it's there. You see this corned beef is really lean. There's no fat. So it's a lean corned beef, and it's really, really nice. So just bring it on over to the stove, and we'll turn on a low eye, and then let it come. I put just a drop of water in that, not much, only about 2 tablespoons. And we'll bring both of these things to the boil, and then we have to make a pie crust for the top of this when I assemble it. I'll be back to show you that. So now I got some peas on to cook on low. Put those on low to cook. And drained through a colander my veg, and I've got my casserole dish. And I took a whisk and I whisked them up just a little bit, and now I'm going to layer it in there. I've got my first layer of veg in, and I'm just going to layer the corned beef on top. You can see how much browner that it's gone with the OXO cube in. So you just make several layers in there, and then you leave it to cool while you make your top crust. Flour and stork and cut it in really good together, and then make your top layer of crust. And see, that is how you layer it. So just keep going like that, and then I'll be back later. This is still very hot. You don't want it hot when you put your crust on there, because it will make it it'll make the juices flow through, and you don't want to mess your crust up that way. See how hot it is? As you can see my layer in there. You should get 3 of each layers. And I, of course, have more carrots than I do potato because of the starch factor, the carbs. I always do it that way. So there's the layer of that. And then you can do another layer of your corned beef. This is your basic British regular corned beef pie. It's how you make it. And see, as you're pushing it in there in layers, you're kind of tapping it down. And you notice there's no juices squeezing out or anything. You don't want the extra juice in there. You could have saved your juice from your veg to make your brown gravy for the top of this. That's what some do, but I don't do that. I just make mine with water. Like that. And then one more layer. Alright guys, I'll be back in a little bit to show you the rest. So we just have a little bit of McDonald's self-rising flour dough. I'll just put a little bit, it's probably 1.5 cups in here, and then we're using stork. It's perfect for cakes and crust, pie crust, and all that stuff. So just put a little bit of that into your flour, and you just cut it in. The cutting in part of making pie crust, it'll kind of warm up the stork as you cut it in, and your flour will become sort of like a meal texture as you cut it in. And then after it's all cut in the end, you'll add just a drop of milk, enough to pull it together into a ball, and then I'll show you that in just a minute. So just completely keep cutting it in, and you'll have a texture kind of like meal. Alright guys, I'll be back and show you the rest. So I've made a little well in the bottom of cut flour, and I just put it's not even 1/4 cup of milk. About 3 tablespoons of milk into that. And then you just kind of fold it in. Just turn your bowl and fold it in. And you're going to make a dough ball. Okay, I'll be right back to show you that when I get it on the board. You just flour your board. You've rolled your ball and you kneaded it all around, and then you flattened it out. You can use a rolling pin, or you can use your hand, which I do. So then I just pick it up and put it on the top of my pie. And then you do your pie crust ends. You just pinch them up around the edge. So that none of the stuff will seep out. Your goodness. And then you brush the top of this with a brush. You can either use milk, just a splash of milk, or you can use egg white. And you'll want to take your fork and put a few darts in the top, like that. Just pinching around the side, clearing off the edge, so the crust doesn't break. So now you have your crust, and you just take a brush like this. A splash of milk in there, and take your brush and you cover the top. It'll make it shiny. All on the edges, kind of splattered on. It's not the best looking crust in the world, but it's eatable. It's delicious. And I've got my oven preheated to 350. And so my pie will go in now. And these easy to clean up because I'm right here beside the sink. So I'll put that in the oven to bake for a little while. So I'm just going to bake it in the oven on number 5, gas mark 5, for about an hour and 15 minutes. There we go. Because everything else is already cooked except for the crust.
All the veg is done. It's only the pastry.
Yeah.
You cook in.
Yeah.
So when it's brown, it's done.
Yeah. So there we have it. We'll see how it is. Mom wouldn't make it for us, so.
No, my leg is playing up.
Her leg's playing up. So, that's it. I'll be back to see how the corned beef pie is. Alright guys, ta-da! Flour off my hands. So there's my pie out of the oven. See how brown it is. Nice and light. And my crust is actually flaky. Me and my husband are going to have a slice of that for dinner with some peas. I'll be right back to show you. That's what his slice looks like. The crust's actually really nice. Whew, I'm surprised. So there's his plate. I'm making the gravy now to go on top. And there's my plate. Peas and corned beef pie. I'm really, really pleased with that crust. Lovely. Very lovely. I'm going to make the gravy now. So basically all you need is a pan, some gravy granules. So you just want to put a few in there. Not very many. When the kettle pops, you take a whisk and you just whisk it up. So you got a nice brown gravy. Very, very pleased with the pie. But I'll let the expert tell you. Okay, so we're going to make brown gravy. You can get these anywhere, these granules. I think you can even get them in America, different kind of granules, I'm sure. You just kind of have to eyeball it. You don't want it too thick. Put your hot water in and stir it. And have a nice thick brown gravy. If it's too thick, just add a little more water. And there's the brown gravy. Enough? Need more?
Bit more.
Bit more. What do you think about that? I cooked you dinner. Tomorrow is what, Keith?
The day after today.
Yeah, the 10th of March in the UK is what?
The day after the 9th of March and also Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Yay.
Yay!
Taste your pie and tell me what it's like.
Probably tastes like pie.
It's a bit hot.
They're trying to make me burn myself.
You're supposed to be cooking me a meal on Mother's Day.
I do the eating part.
That's what you said yesterday.
Oh, that's right. I specialize. Good.
Good? Nice. Alright guys, so there's mine. And it has no salt in it at all. Didn't cook any salt in it. No salt on the peas. or anything. So I've got a little bit of rock salt, and I'll just add a little bit to the top of that. So happy Mother's Day, guys. Happy Mother's Day. God bless. So corned beef pie and peace. That's how we roll. Peace out. That's how we roll. Ta-da.